Hello, you're tuning into VTV News, brought to you live from Hanoi. I'm Michael Liu, and here's the top news for this hour. Update on the second official working day of the 12th National Party Congress, discussing institutional reform and growth model renovation, and stock markets to experience major changes in 2016. Let's find out what we could expect this year. Finally, Vietnam's Agent Orange victim documentary was shortlisted for Oscar. First off, we'll have the latest update on the second official working day of the ongoing 12th National Party Congress. Delegates continue to discuss national development goals and tasks for the years to come. Politburo member and National Assembly Chairman Nguyen Sinh Hung, representing the Presidium, chaired the meeting. More in the following.
Opening the discussion, Politburo member and president of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Nguyen Thiện Nhân delivered a speech on promoting the strength of the nation in order to help successfully realize the socio-economic development targets and participate in building a pure, strong party and administration. He listed tasks to promote the strength of the country's unity in socio-economic development. On behalf of the Vietnam People's Army's party organization, General Ngo Xuân Lịch, Secretary of the Party's Central Committee and member of the Central Military Commission's Standing Committee, said that the People's Army would continue intensifying its core role in national defense and protecting the country, given complex developments and new requirements. Fostering national defense and building a professional and modern revolutionary People's Army would remain vital. This will help foster the nation's potential and combined strength and serve as a foundation to firmly defend the country.
Also within the plenary session, many delegates expressed their opinions on how to promote leading economic sectors through sustainable strategies. Minister of Planning and Investment Bùi Quang Vinh noted that the most significant achievement of Vietnam for the last 30 years of renovation was the shift from centralized planning to a market economy. This has basically changed the lives of every Vietnamese and improved the average income per capita by fourfold. Other speakers, including Minister of Transport Đinh La Thăng and member of the Party Central Committee, Minister of Health Nguyễn Thị Kim Tiến, also presented their reports.
Delegates also shared experiences and proposed measures to successfully develop a socialist-oriented market economy in the context of increasingly intensive and extensive international integration. In order to achieve this goal, Vice Secretary of the Hanoi Party Committee and Chairman of the Municipal People's Committee Nguyễn Đức Trung said the perfection of institution is a must. Meanwhile, Central Committee member and Vice Secretary of the Party Committee and Chairman of the People's Committee of Ho Chi Minh City Nguyễn Thành Phong highlighted major solutions to improve growth quality and competitive capacity. These include reforming public administrative procedures and public finance.
Overall, 22 presentations by delegates were heard on the second official working day of the 12th National Party Congress. Well, today, January the 23rd, delegates will continue to hear documents and reports about personnel training for the 12th Party Central Committee. Now let's move on to some other news. The documents for the 12th National Party Congress were highly valued for their content, especially the stress on the development of the Communist Party of Vietnam and the private sector. According to the delegates, the party has introduced effective measures to tackle current issues.
One of the most noticeable subjects mentioned in the documents has been the promotion of democracy. The subject was discussed throughout the political report submitted to the Congress. Delegates agreed that the party expressed profound awareness of the democracy, which is essential to the development of the country.
The report mentioned a deep and comprehensive view of the democracy. The Communist Party of Vietnam has always mentioned democracy since its establishment. However, the term has not been fully understood. In some places, people take advantage of democracy or spread it in an extreme way, which is not tolerable. This Congress discussed a lot about democracy and I believe that only democracy in accordance with the rules of our party will prove successful.
The documents also identified the need to enhance political viewpoints, organization, and morality among party members. The delegates highly valued the phrase morality being added to the documents.
It is absolutely right to stress the need to strengthen our party in terms of morality. It is the degradation of political viewpoints and morality in recent years that weakened the capability of the party as well as the confidence of citizens in the party.
Besides discussing the documents of the 12th National Party Congress, the delegates also appreciated the solutions mentioned in the political report in building the party. The viewpoints noted in the report aim to consistently comply with the resolution on party building issued at the 11th Party Central Committee's 4th meeting.
The Communist Party of Vietnam aims for morality. The Central Committee resolution must be implemented since each member of the party is also an exemplary figure in terms of the public. In that way, confidence in the party will be enhanced.
One of the 6 main objectives of the 12th National Party Congress is to promote the building and regulation of the party. The objective was also the first to be mentioned by Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng in the report of the 11th Party Central Committee regarding the documents submitted to the 12th National Party Congress. According to the delegates, measures mentioned at the Congress created a basis to build a pure, strong party and administration.
Moving on to some other news, now the 10th National Congress of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party wrapped up on Friday after electing Bunhang Vorachith as the new party General Secretary of the Central Committee of the LPRP. The 5-day Congress also elected a 69-member Central Committee with 8 alternate members, 11 members of the Political Bureau and 9 members of the Secretariat. At the closing ceremony of the Congress, Bunhang Vorachith expressed his honour and pride to be elected as General Secretary. He also urged the members of the LPRP as well as all Laotian citizens to fulfil the goals set at the National Congress to make Laos a developing country with high average income by 2020. Now moving on to some economic news, a conference on stock market development plans for 2016 held on Friday sets out the major target of upgrading Vietnam to emerging market status. With various global financial fluctuations, the domestic stock market is expected to see fundamental changes this year.
Since the beginning of the year, Vietnam's stock market witnessed a $5 billion plummet in value, which was also reflected by global downward trends. However, the stock market has improved through greater transparency and other stable basic factors.
Vietnam will suffer from the global market downtrend, as we have seen. We've made some significant adjustments since early this year. Meanwhile, the expected growth rate still remains positive, about 6%.
In this context, investment should be attracted indirectly through upgrading to emerging market status in the Asia-Pacific Stock Index's ranking. According to the State Security Committee, this target has been facilitated by government policies such as Decree 60 or the one-day online code registration.
We are not only striving for improving ourselves, government agencies and businesses should also stay up to date in terms of changing trends among foreign investors.
In 2016, the State Security Committees also proposed measures resolving stock market issues, especially regarding to scale, liquidity, and diversification of products. Moreover, capacities, competitiveness, and operation efficiency among stock companies were also addressed.
The stock market will witness positive changes in terms of new products, such as derivative securities, new policies, and improvements among fund management companies.
The State Securities Committee is considering the allowance for foreign stock companies to establish their overseas branch in Vietnam. These branches will only serve foreign investors' interests as part of efforts to attract more foreign investors to the domestic stock market.
Vietnam experienced a real estate inventory of up to $5 billion during the 2011 to 2015 period. Most of this housing was targeted at middle-class earners, so social housing projects have been developed to help address shortfalls in market demand.
Convenient location and proper facilities. These are positive impacts of the first social housing project for low-income people in Bắc Ninh province. Moreover, these projects have also opened up brighter aspects for suspended projects in the area.
Social housing projects are new to us, but we still decided to buy a house here. We were convinced by the convenient location, which connects to the province's main road. We'll implement 3 more social housing projects this year with about 6,000 apartments, meeting 30% current housing demand.
According to reports from the construction sector during the 2011 to 2015 period, there has been an oversupply in middle-class or luxury properties, while there was still a lack of accommodation for low-income earners. Therefore, social housing projects are considered a way of addressing deficiencies in the market.
Providing lower-income earners with property is a way of addressing problems with the market in the short term and preventing a financial crisis breaking out as a result of real estate crisis.
After 3 years of implementation, 135 social housing projects have been completed, meeting the need for 780,000 low-income households or over 3 million poor residents.
The real estate market over the last 5 years has been gloomy. Practical solutions focusing on the main demand for housing have been proposed and implemented to solve this problem. This can be seen through social housing projects themselves.
According to the Social Housing Strategy to 2020, urban areas across Vietnam are predicted to see an additional 200,000 houses by 2020, providing stable accommodation for about 1 million low-income people.
Now, timber exported to the European Union since March 2013 has had to have a forest law enforcement, governance and trade certificate. One of the most notable requirements is verifying timber origin. A set of tools to manage this procedure has been introduced to Vietnamese businesses to help them meet requirements and better penetrate the EU market.
This enterprise has been exporting timber to the EU for 8 years. Previously, it was not aware of the notion of legal timber following EU regulations. After participating in a project by NEPCON in 2014, the company was given a set of tools to manage timber origin.
Before, we were not very active in our business. We submit whatever documents asked of us. Now, we understand the standards and have a way to verify timber origin to meet requirements.
The free tool helps enterprises collect information and documents to verify legal input in all production phases. This is part of a 450,000 euros project funded by the EU. Workshops to introduce the tool to enterprises have been held in major cities.
In Vietnam, we are working on a specific project which is targeted at small and medium-sized enterprises and trying to help them in meeting the requirements of EU timber regulation. And our approach is to prepare tools and guidance material that they can use, make it easy for them to prepare for meeting the requirements. By the end of the project, we will have people who are competent in training and helping small and medium-sized enterprises.
The challenge for Vietnamese enterprises is the amount of wood imported from other nations, whose origin is not easy to track. Experts suggest stronger collaboration among small enterprises to solve this issue.
It is high time small businesses cooperate and share reliable input sources. This way, they will have a better chance to develop and make the most out of the tunes.
Not only the EU, but the US, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea have also issued specific guidelines for imported timber. This set of tools will help Vietnamese enterprises penetrate the EU as well as other potential markets.
Still to come on VTV News, Vietnam welcomes its first surrogate baby. What is its significance? In Vietnamese Agent Orange Victim documentary shortlisted for Oscar. Stay tuned for more to come right after the break.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News. Now, over 20,000 litres of smuggled diesel was intercepted by the Vietnam Coast Guard. After failing to present valid bills and papers for his cargo, a ship captain admitted that he bought these goods from the border region between Hai Phong and Quang Ninh province. On the same day, the Vietnam Coast Guard also confiscated 6,000 packs of cigarettes. Both cases are being further investigated. Now, 2 new high-speed patrol boats were delivered by the High Command of the Vietnam Coast Guard and Hong Ha Shipyard Company on Friday. The 2 patrol boats are the first to be put into use, according to the National Assembly's Resolution 17 on providing vessels for the Vietnam Coast Guard and the Fishery Inspection Force. The new vessels were built in 13 months. They are nearly 55 metres long and 9 metres wide. The vessels can operate up to 30 days in gale force conditions. The launching of the vessels will play an important role in enhancing the country's patrol capacity and exercising of national sovereignty. According to Vietnam Electricity, otherwise called EVN, hydroelectric plants in Vietnam will not be able to operate at full capacity due to El Niño. Thus, the country's southern provinces now face the risk of power shortages in the 2016 dry season. Let's see what provinces are doing to prepare for this in the following report.
This company is a major seafood exporter in the southern city of Cần Thơ, so meeting delivery deadline is a must. To cope with power shortage forecast for the upcoming dry season, the company has bought another electric generator.
We have signed contracts with foreign partners. If we cannot deliver goods on time because we have no power, we'll suffer losses.
Demand for power during this year's dry season is forecast to rise by 14%. The Southern Power Corporation recently upgraded its transmissions and distribution systems to cope with the situation.
We have finished repairing and upgrading 20 kilometers of 110 kilovoltage line, 1,800 kilometers of medium voltage line, and 1,600 kilometers of low voltage line.
Recently, Duyên Hải, one thermoelectric plant, began generating power with a capacity of 1,200 megawatts.
We have improved the waterway to the plant to ensure coal supplies. We have also stored enough spare parts to prepare for any technical problems.
With recent upgrade projects and new facilities in operation, the southern regions will more likely enjoy a stable supply of power in the upcoming dry season.
Now, inhabitants of An Binh Islet, 30 kilometres off the coast of central Ngay province, will have access to power before the Lunar New Year. A diesel-powered generator system will provide full-time electricity for over 500 islanders. The project, directed by Vietnam Electricity, otherwise called EVN, will provide prolonged energy for living and production on the islet. EVN has 12 days to prepare the necessary equipment, 10 days to implement the project, and 3 days to complete it. The project so far is on track and will be completed on time. The final stage of the first Vietnam Maker Contest for Young Inventors, held in conjunction with Intel Galileo, took place yesterday. The event was jointly organised by the Youth Union's Central Committee, Ministry of Science and Technology and Ministry of Information and Communications. The first prize was awarded to a safe wheelchair by a group of students from Hưng Yên University of Technology and Education. The wheelchair can be controlled by head movement and smartphone and is linked to a hotline at the tap of a button. Held for engineering students, the event was started in August 2015 and attracted 141 entries from students of 31 universities. The 40 entries that made it to the finals then received assistance from the organisers. After Vietnam's law on marriage and family allows close relatives to become surrogates mothers, the first case of surrogates baby had been performed yesterday morning at the Hanoi-based Central Maternity Hospital. What is this event's significance? Let's find out in the following report.
The baby girl, weighing 3.6 kilograms, was born at 7:26 a.m. by C-section to a 38-year-old woman from the northern province of Ninh Bình.
Our daughter is a beautiful baby. Both our families and relatives are waiting for our news by the phone at home.
The baby's mother was not capable of natural conception, so the couple took the decision after 16 years of trying. After local hospitals were granted permission to use surrogacy technologies, a relative of the couple agreed to help them. Egg and sperm from the couple were implemented into the relative's womb.
Vietnam can successfully perform surrogate pregnancies, and I think this is a moral and humane action.
More than 100 applicants have applied to hospitals to make use of the treatment since the technology became available.
Châu, Beyond the Lines, a short documentary about a Vietnamese Agent Orange victim, Lê Minh Châu, has become one of the 5 Oscar nominees for the documentary category this year. The 34-minute film tells the struggle of Châu, who despite all his disabilities attempts to strive towards his dream of becoming an artist and fashion designer. The film by American director Courtney Marsh was filmed over 8 years since she was 21. Director and camera operator Marsh hopes that the film would inspire people to never give up on their future and passion through an inspiring true story. The Academy Awards will be held on February 28th. Now, food presentation and decoration have become an essential part of cuisine. From food and vegetable sculpture decorating for a banquet to a simple lunchbox made with love, from lively flower painting of jelly cakes to the amazing pictures on coffee cups, all have been sophisticatedly created by the culinary artist. And we'll find out some food art forms that have been popular in Vietnam in this week's edition of Culture Watch.
Hồ Thanh Huyền is a young girl born in 1991. Like many other youngsters, Huyền has been attracted by Japanese and Korean cultural trends. Huyền was really impressed by Japanese cuisine, especially the art of bento.
Bento is not merely a lunchbox. It has become an art that requires meticulous care when it comes to its appearance.
Bento is a Japanese term for a box lunch. With simple ingredients and skillful hands, as well as their creativity, Japanese people have created various colorful and artistic bento lunchboxes. Nowadays, bento boxes have gone beyond Japan to different countries around the world, including Vietnam. At first, I just intended to make small bento lunchbox to give to my friends and relatives. Gradually, I wanted to introduce this art to more Vietnamese young people, as now many youngsters fall in love with Japanese and Korean cuisine, so they wanted to learn how to make such cute bento lunchboxes. With the hope to introduce this kind of art wider to local youngsters, Huyền started to organize bento classes in 2012. Her first attendees were friends and relatives. From the most simple steps like choosing boxes, ingredients, to cooking, everything needs the fullest care of the creators. Up next, we will need to focus more on shaping and designing the food artistically. The food must also carry the message of the creator. In a bento box, every step requires your artistic mind. This is the first time I have been taught to make these beautiful lunch boxes for my children. I will try to make bento for them so they can share it with their friends in picnic on weekends. The kids really like colorful rice box like this and enjoy their meals a lot. Packing a bento is not easy at all and can be very time-consuming, but I will try to make it sometimes for my kids, as they will eat more if they like the food. A bento box like this is very healthy and nutritious, with both vegetables and meat. It's very good not only for kids but also for adults as well. So if you have a little time for lunch preparation, think of doing a bento box. With your endless imagination, a simple lunchbox will become more appealing and interesting, even an artwork.
Now let's check out the latest weather forecast. That's it for our newscast. Now do log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go for more of our content. Goodbye for now and thanks for stopping by.